and we continue our spiritual fitness exercise. Anyway, happy day after Christmas. I hope you got some wonderful gifts and some presents, if you know what I mean. Where I live with myself and my cat, Looney, we each got a significant present from Santa. Looney got a bird feeder a clear plexiglass bird feeder that attaches to the window right in front of his cat bed, way up high. So I put some bird seed in that, and we're hoping for some birds to come by so he can lose his mind on that. And Greg got an exercise bicycle, an indoor stationary bike. No, not a Peloton. And I think it's actually been 60 years since I got a bike on Christmas. A Schwinn Stingray with a banana seat. Wow, that was enlightenment. Anyway, it was incredible exercise, my exercise bike, to put it together. I should just take it apart and put it back together every day. That would be the greatest exercise of my life. Took about 3 hours, and so I was listening to one of my favorite podcasts. And when I finally did build it and then got my computer exactly where I liked it on my exercise bike, I was just geeking out. And there was no football of any merit to watch, rats. And so I shamelessly admit that, some people have their Netflix and some people have their programs, but I like this one guy's podcast, and maybe for a couple of hours, I listened to probably the three primary doctors, researchers who've written the most comprehensive books on near-death experience. Those stories interest me. Now, a skeptic could look at me and say, "Hey, Greg, why are you so interested in life after death?" And, it's a valid question. One time they asked a great guru, a great yogi, "Is there life after death?" And he said, don't be so concerned about that. Your question should be, is there life after birth? And it's a valid point. But one of the things that makes life right now good, or as good as it's going to be, is a sense of meaning, purpose, and understanding. Those are the things that seem to make for a qualitative life: meaning, purpose, and understanding. And one of the most common features of people who are having these near-death experiences, which are being more and more and more documented over the last 10, 15, 20 years, is a revolutionary change when they come back. So here are some of the commonalities. They become far more altruistic and much less materialistic. Oftentimes, they completely rearrange their lives in accord with their new feelings of altruism and wishing to be of service. And another great realization of a very high percentage of those who come back is this understanding of the individual import of our own life. And isn't it so easy to kind of fall into that feeling, well, I'm very, very small, I'm one of 8 billion, and does it really matter what I do? And sometimes it seems like it really doesn't. And do I really make a difference? And I see there are other people I see who are really making a big difference in the world. And man, they're amazing, but I don't know if I could ever do anything like that. And so sometimes discouragement or depression sets in. And of course, discouragement and depression might be the two biggest enemies to our well-being. But those who come back from seeing the totality of things, they come back and they report that everything we do is of almost infinite importance because we're all networked together. Just helping one person, teaching one person, educating one person, being kind to one person, being compassionate to one person is as important as helping millions. And it's hard for our human minds to gather that. And it's also true that one person practicing establishing a deep sense of peace literally counteracts, get this, millions of people who are scrambled and delusional and out of their mind. And in this crazy mixed up world, we can remember that just our one self practicing peace is counteracting so many people that are scrambled and wobbled and misaligned from their center. Of course, they're divine beings as well. And we certainly don't feel it in any way that we're superior to them. In fact, it fills us with humility to realize that the practice of peace counteracts a million crazy people, and yet it's incumbent upon us to be of service and to practice peace, because a time will come, and it will come, where we will see the great importance. Now, we don't have to wait. The beautiful thing about helping one other person is obviously what it does to make us feel better, and it's rather obvious what practicing peace does in our own self. But perhaps in this unusual week between Christmas and New Year's, we can make it a point to remember how important and meaningful and purposeful our own lives are. They're not separate lives off to the side. The line between good and evil, between peace and agitation, between wisdom and ignorance, runs straight through the center of our own heart. And as we continue on these journeys of ours, these adventures, and as we go through these various periods of feeling like, oh, it doesn't matter, or it's not happening quick enough, or something will happen in the future, but certainly not now, we can recall quite vigorously into our consciousness that right now, the import, the meaning, the significance of being peaceful and helping out another, and the difference that we are making in the world. And if we want to make a difference in the world, we have to be that difference ourselves. So take heart, be of good cheer. Remember, everything you're doing is magnified a millionfold. And while we may not see it now, we assuredly will. And it's not about finding that out in the future. It's about feeling that and knowing that now. So anyway, have a beautiful day. We'll continue this topic throughout the week. I'll see you.